Then self-stealer. See, for example, you submit a paper for a particular journal, and the paper is published. You got some points for that in your APA score, all those things and all. When you're publishing the next paper, you are not supposed to copy the things from the first paper. So unless otherwise it is required, of course, there's no harm in it. You can take required part of your previous paper and you have to cite it properly in your research paper. Otherwise, even that will result in plagiarism. Okay. Then comes unintentional plagiarism. Sometimes we are not aware of whether we are committing plagiarism or not. We do certain things while you're writing a research paper without knowing that we are committing plagiarism. Maybe when you're quoting or paraphrasing, you do it without proper form. You don't know how to cite it properly, improper citations. Without proper attribution, you do it. So these kinds of unintentional plagiarism also will be considered as plagiarism. Fine. Sir, what would happen if I do plagiarize? If I copy contents from others and present them in my research work as if they are my own, what will happen? There are some possible consequences. If you are a faculty member, your scholarly reputation will go down, and your credibility, whatever trust, whatever faith the researchers, the academic community have in you, that will go down. And sometimes you will be suspended or expelled from the organization, and your job may be lost. It is known that if you are plagiarized, then research funding agencies may not sponsor research funds to you, and you may lose your professional status also. And if it is a student, your grade will go down. Your research work, maybe a PG project work or a dissertation or a thesis, will not be accepted, and you will be expelled from the university and no degree will be given to you. Fine. And whoever does plagiarism, suitable action which you can against them. So these are the possible consequences. You may ask the question, sir, these are the consequences. Is there any act? Is there any rule for plagiarism? Is there any government order? Yes, of course. In 2018, University Grants Commission had released Promotion of Academic Integrity and Prevention of Plagiarism in Higher Education Institutions Regulations 2018. This regulation spells out clearly what are the various levels of plagiarism and what kinds of punishments are there for people, those who are indulging in different levels of plagiarism. Let us see them now. See, UGC has categorized all kinds of plagiarism issues into 4 levels. Level 0, your similarity is up to 10%. Level 1, the similarity is between 10 to 40. Level 2, it's 41 to 60. And level 3, 61 and above. Fine. See, when you have published a paper, your paper will be checked for plagiarism, and they find out to what extent your research paper has the contents of others. If that kind of similarity, things which are common in your paper and others' paper, if that similarity is less than, is up to 10%, up not less than, up to 10%, that is level 0. If the similarity is 11 to 40%, that is level 1. If the similarity is 41 to 60, then it is level 2. If it is more than 60, this is level 3. So 4 levels of plagiarism are there. Okay. For example, our students are submitting their MPhil projects or MPhil thesis and dissertations or PhD dissertations. And what about the accepted and different punishment levels for plagiarism? See, a student submits his or her MPhil dissertation or PhD thesis. They check for plagiarism. The plagiarism is less than or up to 10%, there is no problem, no penalty. You can submit your papers, you can submit your dissertation. If the plagiarism percentage, the similarity index is 11 to 40, then you will be getting 6 months time. You can take rest in your house, 6 months time. You can revise your thesis, revise your MPhil dissertation, you can submit. If the similarity is 41 to 60%, then you will be given 1 year period of time. You can relax for 1 year. You can relaxingly sit and revise your dissertation and thesis. And after 1 year, you can come and submit your thesis dissertations. If the similarity index is more than 60%, I'm sorry, your registration will be cancelled. You will never be permitted to submit your thesis or dissertations. Fine. See, if a student repeats the plagiarism, then the higher level of punishments will be given to them. You can ask a question, sir, 4 to 5 years before I submitted a PhD, and that time though no problem of plagiarism. If they find out now, see, they say that even you had published, you have presented your papers, it was accepted, you got appointment, something like that. But even if they find out now that your paper has got some plagiarism, then your degree will be kept in abeyance for a period recommended by your institutional academic integrity panel. Even that is possible. Then what about the faculty members and scholars, those who publish papers in journals, in conferences, in books and all? No? What about the punishment for research papers plagiarism? Once again, less than up to 10%, no problem. If your research paper has got 11 to 40%, then you will be asked to withdraw the paper. You should write a letter to the publisher. You have to retract your paper. You should get your paper back from the people, and your paper will not be available anymore in the publisher's website or with the publishers. If your research paper has got 41 to 60% similarity, then see, please understand, you have to retract your paper, withdraw your paper. One increment will not be given to you, and you cannot enroll any PG, MPhil, PhD scholars for any research program for 2 years. Fine. And if the level of plagiarism is more than 60%, once again, you have to withdraw the paper. 2 increments will not be given to you, and you cannot enroll any new PG, MPhil or PhD scholar for a period of 3 years. Fine. The same thing, even if it was awarded previously also, if they found it to have plagiarism, action can be taken. Okay, fine. A question comes here. Sir, what are the exclusions when I submit my thesis or dissertations? What parts of my thesis dissertations will not be checked for similarity, will not be checked for plagiarism? UGC regulations 2018 says that 3 things are exempted: all quoted works reproduced with the permission and attribution. Whenever you have quotations with the proper permission, with proper attribution, those things will not be checked. All the references you appended, all the bibliographies, your table of contents, preface, acknowledgement, preliminary content, no. So those things will not be checked for plagiarism. Apart from that, all the generic terms, laws, standard symbols, standard equations, even these things also will not be checked for plagiarism. And there is something called common knowledge or consecutive terms up to 14 words. Okay, unless otherwise your content has got more than 14 consecutive words taken from a particular source as such, then that will be considered as plagiarism. Fine. Sir, let us know about how we can detect plagiarism. Sir, how can I find out what is the percentage of my similarity and what are the contents I have copied from others? Or what about the plagiarism of my student when he submits my paper to me? Fine. See, if you submit your papers to readers or reviewers in a particular journal, the reviewers are experts in the field. So once they go through a paper, they will easily find out from what papers you have copied all the things. Sometimes they check the references and they check the contents, what you have included. They can easily find out what are the sources from where you have copied things. See, Harry says very simple. Just go to Google, type 1 or 2 sentences of your research paper, and you get exactly from where you copied the whole thing. And apart from that, professionally, we have plagiarism detection softwares. Some softwares are there, and these softwares, when you upload your file, they will check for similarity and they will tell you what is the percentage of similarity found between your document and the documents available online. Fine. See, a lot of softwares are there. See, for example, Viper, Plug Tracker, Plagiarism, plagiarism checker, plagiarism detector, plagiarism detect. So these are all the freely available open source softwares for checking your plagiarism. Some are good, but only thing is be very careful when you are trying to check your plagiarism with these kinds of free software, because sometimes when you check for plagiarism in any of these free software, sometimes what they do is that your content will be stored in the database of these checkers, and finally when you go and submit your paper in university somewhere like that, no, it will show 100% plagiarism. So be careful with checking of your papers with these free. But there's another limitation too. These free plagiarism checkers will permit you to check only a small portion of your research output, maybe 2 pages, maybe 3 pages, maybe 3,000 words at a time. So you may have to do it many times, and that may not be very comprehensive. Okay. So there are some commercial softwares which are used previously by Government of India and government agencies like Turnitin, Authenticate. This is very, very powerful but very costly plagiarism checkers. But as of now, the government Minister Acharya, they have recommended Urkun software for checking plagiarism in all the universities of India. And this is a homepage of Urkun. And Urkun supports all these kinds of file formats. If you're submitting a doc file or PPTX file or PPT file or TXT file, HTML file or ODT file or RTF file, whatever files you submit, that will check for plagiarism. And even I came to understand very recently that the Urkun has developed a lot of advanced plugins even to check the regional language similarities like Tamil, Malayalam, Telugu. So they have done some kind of groundwork even to check these regional plagiarism language also. And this is a result screen of Urkun, which tells you different color patterns: 75 to 100% one color, 50 to 74 another color, 25 to 49 another color, 0 24 another color, no much. So they give a lot of kind of coloring patterns of showing the similarity. So far we have seen what is plagiarism and what are types of plagiarisms, and what are the consequences if you indulge yourself in plagiarism. But what is the focal point? So we have to stop plagiarism. We have to get rid of plagiarism. We should move away from the menace of plagiarism. How to do that? It's very, very simple. You need to understand what is plagiarism first. So if you understand clearly what is plagiarism, then you may not indulge in such kinds of activities that may invite plagiarism. See, you will not believe, even if you take a content from a tweet, a tweet you take, or from a YouTube video you take contents, or from a blog you take something, or from an unpublished work you take something. Proposal communication, be letters of a particular person, you take something. The person has given an interview in a paper, newspaper, or in the TV channel. From that you get some idea. So irrespective of the source, wherever you take the contents of others, if you don't use it properly, if you don't cite it properly, then that is definitely going to plagiarism. So let us understand very, very clearly what is plagiarism. You are taking the contents of others, you are using them as if they are your own. That is plagiarism. What is the second point? Have proper planning. Okay, so it is start early. See, if they say that